What is up, guys? So today what I'm going to do is show you how to step up your camera gear for a much cheaper price than you're used to hearing. I've been in the photography industry for about 7-8 years now, and here's the thing. I'm well aware that camera gear is very expensive. I myself have never upgraded my lens because I got into the habit of borrowing a camera or lens or renting a camera or lens. So when you get into that habit, you never feel the need to buy a new lens or buy a new camera because you haven't needed to yet. But I know for accessibility's sake, I needed to get more lenses, like I'll eventually need to get a new camera. And like I said, I'm well aware that camera gear is very expensive. And if you're shooting on a budget like I am, you know that buying that $800 lens is not always the option. Recently I did a shoot and I had to borrow this 50mm from a buddy. This lens is worth more than my camera itself. I'm gonna be very gentle with it, but here's the thing. I don't wanna always have to borrow a lens from someone. So I'm gonna show you how I did this. So this is my Canon Rebel T3 with the standard kit lens, the 18-55. Put a lens hood on there. I do recommend it just because it does protect your camera a little bit, and sometimes it can add a cool image quality to it. I do also recommend not doing what I did and just get the UV filter for your lens. It protects your lens from so much. I never did it. This lens has been beaten and battered so much. So I'm gonna get right into it and show you what I did to get new camera gear. Here's the thing. I was lucky enough to come into this stuff honestly. My dad has an old Pentax ME Super, this camera here, that he bought in 1980. He's been trying to get me to use his lenses for years, but here's the problem. I shoot Canon and I shoot digital Canon. The threading for the lenses is completely different. So I finally did some research and I bit the bullet and I bought this. I'll show you what it is. It is a newer conversion ring. Now, if you don't know what this does, is it changes the threading on your camera. This was only about $20 on Amazon. I'll put the link below for different versions of it so you can buy it yourself. But I'll show you what this does. So let me take this lens here. It's a 52mm. So all you do is you thread it, you thread it to the lens. You take off your camera lens as you normally would. And there you go. So this is a 52mm lens purchased in 1980 on a Canon Rebel that was purchased in 2012. So that's awesome. And it is pretty simple to take back off. There's just a little switch here that you just need to flip and twist it back over. It does take a little bit of getting used to, but it is totally worth it. I think this is one of the best investments I've ever made. And look, I have a telephoto lens that it works on as well. And now I have a 200mm telephoto lens that I personally got for free because it is my dad's, but I'm saying, like, go to flea markets, go to your local pawn shop and pick up lenses that you can adapt to your camera. Converters are not that expensive. Now here's the downside though, and it's not really a downside for me because this wasn't a feature I liked to use anyway, but there is no autofocus on these lenses. That would be because the lenses came out before autofocus existed. But again, that's not always a negative. I personally didn't like using autofocus, and here's the problem with this lens. Because it's not the greatest lens to begin with, my kit lens, and it's been beaten and battered so many times, the focus is not that great on it. I thought it was my eyesight for years. I finally went and got glasses and I was still wondering, why can't I focus photos properly? It's because I've beaten and battered this lens so much that it just simply won't focus that well. That's why I do recommend getting UV filters and lens hoods as well. But what I noticed was when I was using my new macro lens or my new telephoto lens or this 52mm, my focusing is way better. And my photos are turning out better. I don't really have the best photos to show you right now with these, just because it's been kind of gloomy out here in Canada, so I can't really go out and take the photos that I'm aiming to achieve with these yet. But follow my Instagram and you'll be able to see what I do with these lenses, and what I do with my photography in general. So once again, this is the camera that it came off of. So this is a 28mm macro lens. I have a 52mm here and a 200mm telephoto lens. Now that is a fantastic collection I have now. I can do virtually anything other than like wide angle. Like the 52mm is good for portraits, the macro is fantastic for little things, and of course the telephoto is a zoom lens. And I do have my 18 to 55 if I need it. I hope to not need it anymore. But like I said, I will put in the description below where you can get these rings super cheap. It came to my house, I think it was $24 with shipping, came to my house in 2 days, and now I get to step up my photography for a very small price. So I do strongly recommend you check out Newer, you use the links below to buy this product if you are looking for a new lens. And then I recommend going to flea markets, going to garage sales, asking a neighbor who's into photography, find these lenses, because not everyone knows the value behind these lenses. Not everyone knows what they have, so I strongly recommend garage sailing, pawn shopping, whatever it takes to get old lenses, because now you know that there's the option out there to do it. There are other converters as well that will support autofocus if that is something you desire. It isn't something I desire for photography, it is for video, but this camera doesn't really do autofocus for video anyway, so that wasn't a concern of mine. So that all being said, that long-winded explanation completed, I strongly recommend it so you don't have to borrow your friends' lenses like I have, and you can step up your photography collection of gear and your photo quality. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Please, if you did, like it, share it with anyone that you know that is into photography, and subscribe, because I plan on showcasing more and more of this. Once again, check out my Instagram as well, because there will be tons of photos going up on there. I'm taking photography way seriously now. As I'm entering film school, I figured photography, imagery should all be stepped up. So follow my social media, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.